Every guest, Chef Oberoi, when other commandos coming, although I didn't have any answer to it. And I told them they are on their way, they are on their way. I always feel that whether I did the right thing or not, I lost two of the young guys that night. Even my own secretary, she was nursing the wounds of a lady who had come with the injuries from Leopold. She was an Australian journalist and she came to my office from the back areas and she was bleeding. One of my sous chefs with a bullet in the stomach, he's still sending me messages.
Really?
Yes, brilliant. I mean, you cannot get better people than that.
You can't.
So they were behind us and we were running the staircase and they were running behind us.
So there was a whole chase.
Yeah.
My God, there was a whole chase that happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
And luckily we didn't take that step, otherwise all 17 people would have been killed. One of my staff who had recognized him,
Kasab.
Kasab, and when he was taken to the jail to recognize him,
Yeah.
and he told him, our guy told him, "Ke kuch to sharam karo." And at that time he had said, "Ke let them release me, I'll kill more."
Today is 26th November, or should I call it 26/11, which is a date and emotion that not just India but the whole world will never forget. Will never forget because 11 years ago today, 10 terrorists got down at the shore of Mumbai and gunned down, killing many and wounding many people at various spots in South Mumbai. The most talked about being the Taj Hotel at Nariman Point. That day we saw a bloodbath. But we also saw heroes who decided to put forward the safety of other people before theirs and saved many lives. I have one such hero right here with me, Mr. Hemant Oberoi. Welcome to the show. It's an absolute honor. Hemant Oberoi was the head executive chef at Taj and was present at the hotel when the terrorist activities were going on. Now, after 11 years, the movie Hotel Mumbai is releasing, which is based on these events. So let's talk to him and find out what happened that day. So every year when this date approaches, what kind of emotions and feelings does it evoke? Even today as we sit on 26/11 talking about it.
It reminds me of a lot of things what happened that day. We miss the people who laid down their lives.
Yeah.
We miss the people who were even injured and the families which were affected.
Yeah.
It's all in one, the things come back and then you remember that life must go on.
Yeah.
11 years have passed and we will still remember, but a lot of people won't remember it. Generally what happens is, in everywhere else in the world or in our country also, first year anniversary everybody comes, pays tributes, second year number of people go down, third year number, and last few years it's only the staff which gathers together.
Okay.
And I had made a wall outside my office where I had put the names of my chefs who laid down their lives. And till the time I was there with Taj, every year we will get together at 11 a.m. in the morning and 2-minute silence and pay tribute to each one of them.
Right.
So that was our way of remembering them. And we are still in touch with some of the people, their families, although I have moved on, and we still remember them. And we'll never forget the sacrifices they did for the company.
Right. And tell me exactly what happened that day. I mean, it was a regular day. You went to do your job, to do your duty, I would say, which you did very well. But nobody prepares you for such things. You never imagine you'll face something like this in your life. Tell me exactly how it all happened and how you handled the whole situation and the people that you were looking after.
You see, it was a normal day. In fact, 2 days later, I was supposed to leave for overseas somewhere. It was a normal routine and we were getting ready for a lot of things. And then we heard in the evening at about 8 or something, 8:30, that there's some gang war which is going on somewhere in Mumbai. I called up the family. I said, "Where are you?" "Yeah, we are at home, but we heard that there's a gang war kind of a thing." The next thing at about 9:15 we hear one of my chefs calling and he's saying, sir, there's a shooting on.
In the hotel?
And he didn't say in the hotel. Okay. And I told him, I said, don't call me up every week, you call me up, there's a shooting. And I thought he was talking about a film shooting at Gateway of India.
Okay.
He says, no sir. And in the meantime I heard another gunshot on the phone. He said, there's a person shot dead outside our restaurant. The instant reaction was, lock the door, switch off the lights.
Okay, that is protocol.
No, I just blurted out. I said, just lock the door and switch off the lights. And then I called up my security guys and said, what is happening? He says, sir, there are terrorists who are in the passage. Then I remember calling up the second restaurant. I said, lock the door, switch off the lights. Luckily, whatever instinct came to my mind, there were about 50, 60 people sitting in both the restaurants. And their lives were saved immediately. And then these people walked down and 2 more terrorists joined them from the other side.
Yeah.
And rest, they created a havoc from there on.
Right. So when I was watching the trailer of Hotel Mumbai, they've shown a glimpse of Anupam Kher, who plays your character, has gathered these people in a room, saying that nobody knows about this room and you have to stay here and be quiet and you have to not go out so that the terrorists don't come to know there's so many people here. Did that all really happen?
That's what is the Chambers, which was the place where we had brought all the guests from various areas. We brought them down from the banquet hall, where there was a wedding going on.
Okay.
They were from the back areas, from the service lift. We brought all the chefs, all the guests into Chambers, which I personally thought was the safest place.
Okay.
Because they were in the old wing and this Chambers was in the new wing. The only way they could have come to us or go to Chambers was walk through us or go through the lobby. So we thought, let's take this call that they will not go through the lobby because some cops were standing, and maybe we'll block all the areas so that they can't come to this side.
So there was a possibility they would have entered that room, gunned everybody down and then gone.
Very rare chances was.
Okay.
Because in the next few hours we had blocked every area to come to that side.
That's brilliant. But at any point did you feel like, I will not get out of here alive, this is the end?
That thought never came into.
Never came.
That thought never came. Once you are into it, that thought was never. We didn't even have the time to think about anything. Every 5 minutes we were thinking of the next step. How to safeguard their lives, how to keep them motivated.
How did you do that? How did you speak to them? I'm sure people were having nervous breakdowns at that point.
You see, it is first the team. As a team leader, you can't panic.
Yes, that is well said.
So if you panic, the whole team will panic. And I give tremendous respect to the entire team of Taj. Whether it was the service, whether it was the housekeeping, whether it was the kitchen and the other areas. They were working together like a solid team. And anything which was wanted for the guest, they would bring it from anywhere.
Like even food and supplies.
Food, we were supplying the food right up to 2:30 in the morning.
Right.
And in fact, I went once and to the Chambers, I remember at about 1:30 in the morning, and every guest, Chef Oberoi, when other commandos coming, although I didn't have any answer to it. And I told them they are on their way to keep them motivated. I said, what do you want to eat? Some sandwiches, something. He said, anything will do. So I came back, I started making sandwiches. So some of the youngsters came to know that chef is making sandwich. So they came up to make the sandwiches. And I always feel that whether I did the right thing or not, I lost 2 of the young guys that night.
I really liked that scene where in the trailer everybody says that you give them an option that, your character gives an option that, do you want to leave or you want to stay? And they say, we want to stay because guests are the most important. And I think that was so strong my God, I'm tearing up. Excuse me, I'm very emotional.
You see, what we learned was guest is God. And everybody who's come to your house is like God to us. We have to protect their lives. And it is our moral duty to do that. And I think my team did a wonderful job in doing that. Even my own secretary, she was there till 3 o'clock in the morning with me. She was nursing the wounds of a lady who had come with the injuries from Leopold. She was an Australian journalist, and she came to my office from the back areas, and she was bleeding. She took her down, and she got the pajamas and everything got changed. I gave her even a bottle of brandy. I said, pour it on the wound so that, antiseptic thing is on. And she bandaged her. So you can imagine that girl was even not scared. Everybody was strong enough to...
They say that when you have no choice, that's when you come to know how strong you are, because that's the only option you're left with. Talk about coming out stronger from this whole episode.
Problem was, they had a choice.
They could have run away.
They could have run away. So they had a choice. They could have... The road is only 20 seconds away.
Okay.
14 steps down and you're onto the road.
Right.
They didn't leave.
They didn't leave.
They didn't leave.
How has this whole thing made you stronger? I'm sure it has, and you have spoken about how it has. But I want to know that, do you see life differently? Do you have this certain maturity about how you see things now after that, having seen death so closely?
Destiny is written. You can't change it.
Okay, you believe that?
I firmly believe that.
Destiny, yeah.
After surviving death 2-3 times that night, it was so close yet so far. So it's written in my destiny that I was not destined to die that night. Why care for it?
Right.
Do the best you can do for others.
Yeah.
Probably that will help a lot of things in life.
And cinema is a business. In the end, the makers do feel that they have to sell the movie, and somewhere they have to instill certain things which will make the movie a better watch. Did you have any apprehensions when you were told that a movie is being made out of something which is so close to you? And do you ever feel like, oh my God, I hope they don't ruin it. I hope they don't dramatize it way too much?
Not really. By the time this movie was talked about, and Mr. Anthony Maran came to me, and by that time one movie had already been made.
Yeah, the one with Nana Patekar.
No, even before that.
Even before that. There's so many documentaries.
Yeah, so it was, after seeing that movie, I said, if they don't make it well. But I was very sure about the passion of Anthony.
Right.
He did a lot of detailing. He stayed in India for months. And he went into the depth, did a lot of research work on the whole thing.
Right.
And it is seen into the movie. Yeah. You see the picturization, the music, the sound effect. And there's not a minute which is without suspense.
Yes.
It's gripping.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of meaningful way of life. And if people still don't learn from these things, I think we have no right to live.
So true. And what about Anupam Kher, sir? I mean, I think he's a perfect choice, but because even when I look at the two of you, there are similarities in appearance. But I'm sure he had interactions with you when he was prepping for the movie. Talk about that experience.
We did not have any interaction.
Nothing?
Nothing.
My God. So he was fresh.
He was told not to contact me.
Okay. By the director?
Yes.
Okay.
He said, no, do not. Otherwise, you will start walking like him, aping him. So,
yeah.
He says, I want an actor out of you, the real actor out of you.
Okay.
So that's what he was told. Probably Anupam must have done a lot of research work on his own. And
He does that.
He does that.
Yeah.
And he must have spoken to a few others, and he's seen the videos or whatever. And I think he's done a brilliant actor. He's a brilliant actor in any way, any role which he fit. And he portrayed me. I thought I was talking to the staff in the first shot.
Okay.
when people are lined up and
That
they're
scene.
watching the shows. And this is what I did probably in 88, 89. And he was doing that, and I said, from where did you get this particular thing? And he says, I found out on my own.
Oh, that's just him.
So that was a scene which I used to tell them.
Hmm.
I said, grooming standard, we have to be perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did. And it is reflected over there.
Yeah. And so I would want you to tell me about the moment when you walked out of Taj.
At about 8 o'clock
Next morning itself.
next morning,
Yeah.
I got a message that commandos are here. Which area are you? So we were in the laundry.
And how were you guys communicating?
Mobile.
Mobile
Still,
phones.
my mobile was charged 2 times or 3 times, but still it was.
Okay.
And I said, we are in this area. So commandos came and security guys, and they escorted us out. And because between 4:30 and 7:30, there were a lot of times when they were running after us, the terrorists.
The terrorists. Did you actually see them shooting?
Yeah. So they were behind us, and we were running the staircase, and they were running behind us. So
there was a whole chase.
yeah.
My God, there was a whole chase that happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was. Then my colleague said, "Sir, not this way. Let's go this way."
Okay.
And that's the way we went. And then I told him one way. I said, "No, we will not go this way." Because and luckily we didn't take that step, otherwise all 17 people would have been killed.
Right. So you saved so many lives that
No,
day.
it is not the saving, it was, others' lives are very important in life. One should not be selfish, my life is important, no, I don't care about others. At that rate, nobody will care for each other.
There were tapes of Ajmal Kasab's interrogation that came out where he was lying down and a police officer was investigating him, where we sort of got an insight into what is the mentality of such a person who's committing such a crime. Did you get a chance to watch those tapes?
Not really, I have not. I know of the incidents where one of my staff who had recognized him,
Kasab.
Kasab, and when he was taken to the jail to recognize him,
Yeah.
and he told him, our guy told him, "Ke kuch to sharam karo." And at that time he had said, "Ke let them release me, I'll kill more."
What?
This is what the staff came and told us. And he says, I felt like doing something to him.
Of course. So that's the mentality then.
Yeah. So
Ruthless.
you see, end is nothing. But this can happen any day, anywhere in the world. We are not the only people who are suffering from this. But if we are united as a country, as a team, nobody can do anything. We will never be cowed down. We will never be scared of them.
Yeah.
That's what Taj did to them. That in 20 days' time, Taj was up again.
And that was the target as well.
Yes.
That we will be up and functioning again.
We will be up and functioning.
Yeah, really.
Hats off to the team who did. And everything was changed. Mind it, I can tell you that we did not use any cutlery, crockery, food which was exposed in those 3 days.
Okay.
We changed everything in every single restaurant. And all 11 outlets were operating.
That's wonderful. That is an achievement that the entire staff should be proud of.
Christmas Eve, restaurants were full.
Yeah.
And people told everybody, to our management, we have not come here to eat food, we have come here to support.
That is really nice.
So that's the way we brought our spirit of Taj back.
Really. It's
And
the
I hope
people.
it continues.
It will. We have people like you who will make sure that happens. It was such an honor to meet you, sir. I've been so excited. My entire team has been excited. And after meeting you, I know what the strength that you showed that day was where it comes from. It comes from your heart, because you said as long as it's united and everybody's lives are important, that's where it comes from.
Absolutely. I mean, our team was united, Taj team was united. Our security manager, fantastic effort. Absolutely amazing. One of my sous chefs, with a bullet in the stomach, he's still sending me messages.
Really?
Yes, brilliant. I mean, you cannot get better people than that.
You can't.
And the same security officer picked him up and took him to the hospital, and he survived.
My God. Truly a night where we found a lot of heroes.
Yeah.
So Hotel Mumbai releases on the 29th of November. Do watch it in the theatre to watch the story of so many of the heroes that we have. And all the best to you, sir, for all your future endeavors. I'm going to come to your restaurant. I want to have a meal that you've cooked because I've heard you're a brilliant chef. So I'm looking forward to that as well as much as
Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you
you
for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.